Well, hey, rail fans and model railroaders. Welcome to another episode of Getting Back on Track with Roxy.
And Steve. So we took a little detour this past week and worked on building our camera car. Now with all that fun and games done behind us, we got plaster, we got cloth. So we're gonna go ahead and get this plaster cloth, wet it down, slap it down on the mountain, see if we can get something that looks a little more realistic. So with that being said,
let's get this work done.
First task is to raise the elevation of the tunnel portal. This ensures that we can clear the opening with our locomotive and rolling stock. I'm using thin sheet foam cut to fit as spacers, and these can be hot glued into place. Use a couple of box cars to make sure that we have the proper clearance. Once we're happy with the fit, we need to add foam along the backdrop to extend the mountain down. This is easy enough to do using a hot foam cutter to create the basic rise and shape needed. And once again, we'll hot glue all these pieces together. Then after fitting and gluing the thin foam to support the sidewall, we're going to mark along the top of the wall to allow us to cut additional contours using the hot knife. We'll just cut along where we've marked, and it makes real nice smooth contours along there that we'll be able to work with. Now we can go ahead and glue it all into place. The portal on the bridge side needs foam added to better define the mountain. This should suggest more depth to the scene when completed. And here we'll use that thin foam to add shims to get our sidewall into place, and we'll fill that area with plaster later. Then before we can do the messy work of plaster cloth, let's protect the track work and eliminate additional cleanup. Plastic sheeting that will hold in place with thumbtacks will work perfectly for this. So we'll want to cover a lot of the area with plaster cloth. However, we will leave areas like the cliff face and the carved foam for later painting to make it look like granite. So plaster cloth is easy to work with. Once we cut it into lengths, it's dipped into water for a few seconds, then it'll just be put into place. This is easily worked smooth by rubbing gently with your fingers to push it flat into the foam. Plaster cloth can always be easily shaped into the shapes that we carved on the mountain, and it's great to use to fill in any small gaps that are in the foam. Any areas that we do not like can be reshaped with Sculptamold at a later time. This cloth will provide a good base for the ground cover and vegetation later. It's paintable, and it gives a nice rigid surface. I particularly like the way it fills right into the areas we carved. I like how we can cut just small pieces to be able to fit into specific areas. It works pretty well, and it's allowing us to leave those areas we would like to paint later to make granite shapes and rock faces. And I like how well it defines the look of the mountain, and it changes the look of the mountain. So we use a picture of the Dunsmuir area to help us define areas of rockfall, vegetation, and exposed rock. We are leaving some areas undone so we can later continue the terrain down to the bridge and river scene. We're not too concerned about getting the plaster on the backdrop. You can use a wet cloth and easily wipe it clean, and it comes right off. So we want to make sure to work those edges nice and smooth. So now we can take a look at the plaster rocks we made and see if we might find some areas we think will look good. We'll plaster those in with Sculptamold. And then with the plaster work done, we can remove the plastic, wipe down the area, and place our portals in position. I think the mountain's looking pretty great.
Well, there you go. We got that plaster cloth out, wet it down, placed it on the mountain, got it all smoothed out, and it looks great.
Yeah, so we got that laid onto the mountain. We still have areas where we didn't put plaster cloth and we got the pink foam, but we got that cut and carved. We're going to paint it directly so it ends up looking like granite, like you see on the crags down in Dunsmuir in California. So I think we're on a good track right here. Next time, we're going to break out that giant box of Sculptamold, and we're going to start using that to get some additional contour and some additional realism to this mountain. And I think we're on good track with this whole thing. So, in the meantime, you guys have a good time working on your layouts and running your trains.
Make sure you like and subscribe so you're notified of our next video.
And we'll see you right back here next time on Getting Back on Track with Steve
And Roxy. Bye,
Bye, all.
guys.